All right, don't all answer at once. There we go. Creating the life of our dreams, cool. And so knowing who just said that, I know that that's Christopher and Maneka, and they were able to replace us 6 months of Maneka's full-time teaching salary in the month of May alone. That's only a few months in from them beginning in February. So I know that they're living that example for real. Live a life in real freedom, not being a slave to a 9-to-5. Amen to that, coming from my partner in Shine. Getting out of my current job and start traveling. Yes, absolutely. Quit the 9-to-5 and free up more time to do creative stuff. Fantastic. So all of these are great answers. Changing the world and create a conscious shift. Beautiful. So all of these things are really why we're here. We're here to create impact, and we recognize that in order to create impact, we do need income. And the more full your pockets are, the more you can put into the pockets of others, the more resources you have to build with, the greater the things you can build. So taking a leap of faith, quitting trucking at the end of this month. Yes. Welcome, Logan. New to the tribe and team here. You start to get a feel for how this really is a community. I'm on sick leave because my body could not handle a 9-to-5 anymore. I hear you. And actually with a 9-to-5, it's not really a 9-to-5 because you wake up in the morning and you're already preparing for the 9 aspect of the 9-to-5 a couple of hours beforehand. Maybe you're commuting through traffic, everything is all geared to work. And then you come home and maybe you're still answering emails. Maybe you are still in that mindset. And then before you're going to bed at night, you're already thinking about the tasks for the next day. So it's not a 9-to-5, it's more like an 8-to-8. And if you keep that going for a number of years, you're basically working full time. And the whole idea of being here today is to go from a full-time job to a full-time life, to make the shift in your mind from an employee to an entrepreneur. And to become an entrepreneur, the word entrepreneur, the etymology of it means to take calculated risk. And I would say, however, that a greater risk than becoming an entrepreneur is to just keep living an average or normal or a boring life for most of your life. I would say that is a much, much larger risk. And in fact, there's a famous quote, which is the greatest risk is to take no risk at all. And so if you really want your life to kind of up level in money, to up level in time, in freedom, like for example, right now we have people all over the world who no longer need a 9-to-5 and who can actually just live their life, which I feel, we're put on this planet to have a full-time life. So now let's get into it. Let's here, share my screen. Boom, there we are. Okay, just give me a little thumbs up if you can see the screen okay. Yep, is everybody able to see the screen? Yeah. All right, fantastic. So let's go. So basically, in full transparency, this is an entrepreneurship and a business opportunity. It's tons of personal development, but it's also wrapped up in a business opportunity. So if you're here tuning into this webinar, then you are ready to up-level your income and to up-level your impact. There is an investment involved, but the good news is it's really up to you how much you want to invest, and that goes directly back into your own health. Sorry, can somebody please mute themselves? I think. Please, everybody mute yourself at the moment. I'm hearing a little bit of back. There we go. Fantastic. So as I was saying, there is an investment involved. This is a business opportunity. You can choose how much you want to invest depending on how much you value your health, because that investment goes directly back into your health. That's a really beautiful aspect of all of this. And having run a physical business, I built my own parkour gym in Bali, and my beautiful partner has built and run her own, well, not built, but she's had her own beauty clinic as well as her own retreat center. And we know from running physical businesses that there's so many moving parts. There's staff, there's electricity, there's overheads, there's all of these different variables. And this is kind of like a business in a box, and it's something you can run from your laptop or from your phone. It will positively impact everybody along the way. So it'll make everybody healthier. That's like the worst case scenario is everybody gets healthier. Best case scenario is everybody gets healthier and wealthier and creates friends all around the world and joins an amazing community and becomes a better speaker, a better communicator, more authentic in their values, more authentic in the way they communicate their message and their mission on social media through their branding. This will give you a digital skill set to be able to leverage for any kind of business that you have in this day and age. And it will also make you more of who you truly are. You will burn through layers of karmic scarcity. You will burn through your old beliefs, your old blockages, ideas of self-worth, of what you feel you deserve. All of that stuff will kind of be moved through in order to become your true abundant self. And I'll share a little bit of our story a bit later, but basically we went from being kind of broke in December to living very comfortably only a couple of months later. So this can absolutely turn your life around. It did for us. It has done for many other people who are on this call and who will tune into this call. And I'm genuinely, if this is your first exposure to this, I'm super excited for you because in the past I've tried and done so many different things, but kind of I feel like society hands us a push bike and says, here's the highway of success and pedal as hard as you can. And meanwhile, everybody's cruising past you in Teslas with GPS and you're wondering why they're going so fast and why you're going so slow. And we keep doing all of this work on ourselves, personal development on ourselves. And we don't realize that this is the driver. And once you've kind of worked on the driver, you have to ask yourself, are you even in the right vehicle? So in the same way that Michael Schumacher can only go as fast as a pedal bike can go, if he's sitting on that pedal bike, he's not the Michael Schumacher that people know him to be from Formula One. In the same way, if you don't have a good vehicle for generating and creating your income, then you're not going to be able to create impact on the scale that you want. And I would hope that everybody who's on this call wants to further the planet, wants to help humanity, wants to help us advance as a species, as a collective family. And this just kind of puts more good money in more good hands. So this will be your ticket, if you will, to be able to really have life on a much larger level. And, I've lived in Bali and, Alex Lambert, who's going to jump on the call in a little bit, could probably speak to this. I've been in Bali for 9 years in the past. And, there's a lot of quote unquote digital nomads or people living a laptop lifestyle. But the truth is, if you're subsisting on coconuts and fried rice and, you have really cheap accommodation, then living outside of a 9-to-5 or outside of the matrix is quite simple. But if you're living in Europe, like right now, we're based in Norway, and you're able to stay out of a 9-to-5, then you need a whole different level of success and a whole different level of income for this to really work for you. And the good news is here you can have that. We're living proof that it's happening. And I'm excited to be able to bring this into your life so that you can also live life on your terms. You have the time that you want. You have the resources to manifest and to realize those big projects that you have, those visions that you've been kind of squirreling away for so long can now become a reality. So let's dive in. So this is joining a global community, work from your laptop, from your phone, from the beach, and basically just kind of be who you want to be to the level that you want to be and impact the planet. Okay, so this is social media plus the right vehicle equals freedom. And why are you here? So if you're feeling stuck, you deserve to love what you do and do what you love. This gives you the freedom to pursue it. If you're seeking community, be surrounded by a tribe of high vibe people who want you to succeed and are willing to support you to have it, because the business model, the way this is all structured, is it's very collaborative and supportive. So as you help other people succeed, as you demonstrate your leadership, you will be rewarded for that financially. That's the really amazing thing here, is your spiritual growth is directly linked and connected to your material growth. And I've never seen the two married in the same way that they are here through this particular approach. And just so you know, if you're watching this, whether live or on the replay, there's only about 10,000 people in the world doing this right now. So if you are on this call, you are one of the relative handful of people who know about this. This is so innovative in its structure, so disruptive in its model, that it really is quite unlike anything that we've done or tried in the past, which is probably why it's working better than anything we've done or tried in the past. And this is the start of a massive tsunami, a huge tidal wave of prosperity that's about to sweep over the planet. And in the same way that learning about Bitcoin before anybody knew what a cryptocurrency was game changing, this is game changing. And yeah, so stay tuned. And by the end of this short little class or webinar, you will know exactly what this is, what's involved, what's in it for you, what it takes to get started. All of that stuff will be revealed to you. And regardless to what your business is, or if you have anything that you're already doing, this can either supplement that. It can, if you're doing something you don't want to do, this can replace it. And if you're simply seeking to just up level and grow and expand as a person, but have that reflected in your finances as well and in your time freedom, then this can support you in that as well. So if you're seeking community, you want to be surrounded, as I said, by a tribe of high vibe, or as I say, high thrive people, then this is for you. And if you want to create impact and income, so learn the digital skill set to boost any project while also doing a lot of good for the planet and the people around you. So I've seen many things in the past that are, maybe good products, but they're not really game changing in terms of changing people's health or wealth. This is. Okay, so the recipe you'll receive today is how a growing collective of people all over the world are replacing full-time salaries. And it's possible in a matter of months. Actually, it's possible even in weeks if you really dedicate yourself. For us, the turnaround was very quick. For you, whether you treat this as a sprint or a marathon, either way, any progress you make is permanent. So you can just keep moving forward. And it means that the building blocks that you start building your castle with are permanent, and you just pick up where you left off. You don't have to start building the castle from scratch every time. So you'll learn how to build a powerful, authentic personal brand and get paid and to use Facebook and Instagram as an influencer. So unless you have hundreds of thousands of followers, Facebook is not paying you to write posts. Instagram is not paying you to share your photos. Here, because we leverage ads and we can essentially turn on a tap rather than waiting for it to rain, we are able to get paid as influencers, even if you have no following. If you have a small following, you're already at a big advantage. And even if you have no following, you'll learn how to build one and really create rapport and trust within your community and your audience, and learn who the people are who resonate with your message. So all of that is going to be revealed through this process as you dive in. And then why this particular approach is so effective and why the timing couldn't be better to become a part of this movement. So by the end of this gathering, you'll know how to start a global, or glocal, which is my new favorite word, business from your laptop or smartphone. You'll be able to access an incredible growing community. And you see some of the people here on the call today because your success is their success. So this is true new paradigm camaraderie rather than old paradigm competition. And the fact that you help other people succeed by lifting them up rather than you pushing other people down so that you can stand above is really testament to the fact that this works in a new paradigm way, one that's supportive and collaborative rather than competitive, and how you can join a health and wealth movement that can continue to pay you for life. Like we're doing this for life for sure, no matter what you do. And this can just become a supportive engine or vehicle that runs in the background. Okay, we have something in the chat. Let me just see what's come up. Cool. Clapping hands. Yes. Awesome. Fantastic. So if that sounds like a good idea to you, just maybe pop in the chat message below, like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. This resonates with me. These are the kind of terms that I want to hear. This is the kind of language that makes me come alive. Let me know. All right, let's move on. Okay. So why we are here, quite simply, we're here to create freedom, and freedom can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. So just to be explicit, freedom to me means having the time to be with who you want, when you want. So you can spend time with your kids, spend time with your loved ones. If you want to paint all day because that's what makes you feel alive, or you want to just, dance with your headphones on for 2 hours, you can do that. And you can do that at any time. You don't have to do that outside of office hours. You can wake up and your day is fully your own, and you can own it and do whatever with it. Do whatever you want with it. Okay, travel. It's a big wide world, and we want to be able to see it. We have friends all over the world. Why not be able to visit them when you want? And to have a business where you actually get paid just to be you, so you can go on a holiday and you can take pictures of your journey and you can document your process, and that's work. That's actually you being at work is incredible, because it means like we can go to Marbella, like we just were, we just came back from Marbella. I was doing a week-long acting course, and, you know, just document the journey, and that's work. Because if your work is to build an authentic personal brand, then you sharing your journey is part of your personal brand. And you can do that from anywhere in the world. You can do it from a hammock, you can do it from a beach, you can do it from a cafe, wherever. To create impact, like these days, if somebody asks me what my job is to help people. My job is to further humanity in some way, whether small or big. And to be able to create that impact is, I believe, what is required of all of us if we're going to shift this world and create the kind of world that we want to live in. Lifestyle, you know what I mean? Maybe you want to go to the gym at 12 in the afternoon, and you don't want to wait for a lunch break to do that. Maybe you want to be able to eat the kind of food that you feel your body deserves. Whatever that lifestyle encompasses and means for you, you can have that through this channel. And money. So money is something that it's kind of funny to me, because I feel like societally we've been conditioned that money is evil. And if you look at movies, you'll see that the villain is always super rich and has a huge lair. Meanwhile, the hero is like coming from rags from like some tiny little village and has to kind of rise his way up. And because we see ourselves as heroes, not as villains, that programming over time means we see money as evil. But money is no more evil than a hammer, and a hammer can be used to, you know, bash somebody over the head with. It can also be used to build a house. So the material in and of itself is inert, and it's how we use that becomes a reflection of who we are. Money is simply an amplifier of the energy that you already have latent within you. So as you grow and expand and become more of who you are, money will just be like a megaphone for that. So if you're a generous person, money will make you more generous. If you're stingy, it might make you more stingy. So to get comfortable with the idea of having and being around a lot of money means that you are also comfortable with the idea of being and having a lot of impact and a lot of resources to create and realize all of your creative visions and projects. And what all of that creates for you is choice, where you can be where you want, with who you want, however much you want. That is choice. And choice for me is what freedom embodies, what it encapsulates, is being able to have your time be your own and contribute in whatever way makes your heart sing, what makes you come alive. Okay, so the way that people make money online typically is in a number of ways: investing, trading, betting, or affiliate marketing. Now, investing and betting can be very volatile. You know, stocks can go up, they can plummet down. You want something, if you want to build this in a sustainable way, in a way that can actually serve you over a long period of time, you want something that basically doesn't fluctuate. You want something that steadily builds and is stable, dependable, rock solid, something that you can lean on and trust. And so the way that we're going to focus on is affiliate marketing, because at the moment, 97% of everything sold online is done through affiliate marketing. If you're familiar with Booking.com, Uber, Amazon, Airbnb, it's all affiliate marketing. So Airbnb, up until recently, didn't own any of its own properties. They were simply a broker. They were the middle person for people looking for properties. In the same way, Uber turned everybody with a car into a potential driver who could work and pick people up. You know, these disruptive technologies are functioning because they are affiliating with products and services that are already out there. Okay, so the thing is, though, if you affiliate with something like, if you watch somebody's YouTube and they're talking about a book they've just read or some kitchen appliance that they've just gotten, like the affiliate commissions on that are really small. So maybe you'd have to sell, hundreds, if not thousands of books every month in order to be able to really replace a full-time income. What we're going to talk about here with you today, the commissions range from anywhere from a few $100 to a few thousand per sale, which is massive. So it means rather than having to, sell 500 books, you could make like 2 sales in a month and massively impact someone's health and their earning potential, and at the same time replace your full-time income. That's what this can do for you once it gets up and running. Okay, so this is the way that our freedom formula works. Now, this is not the only way to create freedom. This is just the one that we feel is the best, and the one that, in over 10 years, I've never found anything that works nearly as good as this does. So this is skills and mentorship. So I've been to Tony Robbins, I've been to A-Fest. I've sat in ceremony. I've done all kinds of things that are around personal growth. I've never seen something up level your personal growth the way, or so your personal growth in a business sphere the way that this does. Because when you can, let's say you're a coach, you can go in and you can coach somebody through their childhood beliefs or their old blockages and programs. But if you can go in and transform someone's money situation, you can transform their life, because we live in a physical world, and that is the reflection of abundance in our current modern world. So when you can go in and you can shift that for somebody, then you can really change their life on a very practical, very day-to-day level that will impact their families, their kids. And that is just a massive gift that you can give people. So here you'll get all of the skills and mentorship to be able to move through this process, which is literally handed to you like a recipe. And then we have a product that serves as the vehicle. So in the same way that when you see a beautiful sports car, let's say a yellow Lamborghini, right? Everybody just sees the yellow Lamborghini cruise past, but what's doing all of the work is the engine. And the engine you don't see. It's locked away, tucked away underneath the bonnet. And in the same way over here, we have an engine that we are using to generate that wealth. But what people see is your personal brand. So this is another way of looking at it. You have you in the center, the physical flesh and blood human. And then behind you is this vehicle that's serving as an engine that's running quietly in the background without anyone necessarily seeing it. And then what other people are seeing on the outside is your personal brand, who you are, what your values are, the things you post about, the things you share. All of that is your personal brand. So here you get paid to be you. You don't have to be the ambassador of a product. You don't have to be the cream girl or the oil guy or the vitamin fitness trainer or whatever. You can just be you. You can champion whatever you want. So my things are manifestation, life hacking, optimization, psycho-emotional reprogramming. My queen, she likes to go for the nutrition, for yogic philosophy, for detox, for high vibe living. And we get to be ourselves. We get to share our own authentic journey in our own authentic voice. And that's what makes it so powerful, because you being you will never get old. You talking about a product, there's only so many times someone is willing to hear about a shake or a cream or an oil or a vitamin on your social media. People want to know about you, your journey, your struggles, your solutions, your own, as Joseph Campbell would say, hero's journey and rise toward success. Okay, so we learned how to leverage social media here. So 99% of content that's created is created by 1% of accounts. So you know what I mean? You scroll through social media and you see, like, I don't know, someone's breakfast, someone's lunch, someone's cat, someone's kids. And after a while, you're like, okay, you are being starved of real depth and real content. And right now, the number one currency in the world today in the online sphere is authenticity. If you can cut through all of that noise with something real, authentic, genuine, with a story from your own life, from your own experience, it will jump out at people. And so here we're learning to use social media not as consumers, but as creators. All right. And then part of this whole process is having a digital platform that teaches you all of these skills. So teaches you copywriting, how to build a business page, the art of storytelling, what a landing page is, how to create all of these things and put them in place, how to run ads so people come to you. So instead of you going out there kind of trying to chase people, what if you could just be you? Share that in a sponsored post or in an ad, and then people who vibe with you, who resonate with your message, who resonate with your language, your way of presenting yourself will go, I want to contact this person because I feel a connection. I feel a rapport. I feel like they know me. And when you start to post this way, then you will attract to you a community of high vibe, self-initiated leaders. And really, that's who you want to surround yourself with. You want to be swimming in a pool of leaders. And this will show you how to attract those people to you. So you're not going out there chasing people. People are coming to you. And so you learn how to maximize Facebook algorithms and how to be able to do things in a way to get your message seen and your voice heard. And you can also learn how to create launches and funnels and all of that, digital marketing talk. You can learn how to do that, and you can use it to leverage whatever you want. So for example, my partner and I, we run these beautiful global detox retreats, and we had a situation recently in July where we had a couple of places still unfilled in our retreat, and we work with a travel agency, and so we just looked at their ads, and their ad was like, retreat in Bali, come join, click here for details. And instead we wrote a story. We were like, imagine a couple of weeks from now, the plane touches down, the doors open, and woof, you feel that hot tropical air. As you go into the airport, you see somebody holding up a sign and you know it's for you. You get in the car and you arrive at your beautiful private villa where you're greeted with a coconut. We filled up 2 places overnight for our retreat. That's the power of positive, impactful language. And you learn these skills through this process, which can help you benefit whatever you're doing. Okay, so this is some of the community, and now this has grown so much. So when we joined in January, since then we have now over like 100 people that have joined our tribe since, and we're part of a larger tribe. But this tribe is only about 10,000, 11,000 people. It's still tiny. There's over 7.5 billion people in the world. There's so many people who are looking for the right impact and the right delivery system to create that abundance in their life. So you've heard from me talk a little bit. I'd like to now invite Alex Lamber. Where are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. All right, let's, there we are. So Alex, you've only joined recently, man, and you've been a big ambassador for personal growth and personal development for a while. So maybe you can just share a little bit about your own experience and what has been so captivating about this particular approach for you since you've joined.
Yeah, thanks, Tariq. I joined a bit more than 2 months ago now, and I'm really into personal growth. I started my online coaching program, which is great. And for me, I set my mind, like I already have a lot of interest, a person that joined, and a lot of people who are going to join in the next few weeks. And I really set my mind to really create my financial abundance and freedom through it. But apart from that, which obviously like people will have probably different success with it, but I'd say the digital marketing training to start with is like really amazing. I've learned so much about just expressing myself on social media, and I can see my following has doubled over the past 2 months, like way more downloads on my podcast. So really learned that attraction marketing you talked about. Like I used to be, oh, you should meditate, talking to my friend, trying to change people. And now I've learned about just expressing my truth and having people contact me. I think you're amazing. I want to work with you. And it's so much better to do it this way. So that's for the digital marketing part, but that relates a lot to personal growth. So I loved how you talked about personal growth. That really vibes with me because I'm really into it. So for example, I've spent $6,000, right, to go to Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. It's a great seminar. I recommend it to people. But here, it's a bit like my life has become the personal growth because everything becomes a bit of a mirror. So if I'm insecure, I'm going to see it. If I'm greedy, maybe when I approach someone and not in the person's service, I'm going to see this. If I start comparing myself too much, I'm going to see this. And I really like, how I'm really incentivized. Like I'm going to do well if I show up as my best self all the time. And that means, big stuff on social media, but also just being like kind and a great person. And just to finish quickly on that, I think really the community is amazing. Like I live in a place in Bali where people, they smile and they hug, but sometimes they have a bit of that dirty image of money that you talked about and aren't into business. And for me, I'm really about the smiles and those hugs and spreading love, but also being really pragmatic and using the current energies of businesses and money to transform the world. And so when I met people like you and that huge community of like-minded people, I was like, well, this is my tribe, like people creating that new earth, and not just in a seminar, but like really making it like creating that heaven on earth. I'm from France and I dream of a day when I'm in the metro, like the train in Paris, and people are like smiling and hugging and be like, "Hey, brother!" And so, really finding my tribe was also a big one. So if that resonates with people, like join us because yeah, it's beautiful adventure.
Yeah, man. I've definitely watched you like just grow so much in your message and the way that you communicate your values since you've become a part of this. And it's really awesome to see, you know, it's one thing to have success yourself and feel it in your own life. But when you see that starting to happen in other people's lives, you realize that, okay, this really is something that anyone can join, anyone can do. And yeah, you're testament to that. So thank you very much for sharing a bit of your
Yeah,
journey so far.
actually, just in a sec, also, yeah, that empowerment of other people is amazing. And I used to have a lot of people telling me, I love what you're doing, but now also have something to offer them. So it's not just me creating my freedom with my online coaching and things, it's also having that vehicle I can offer to people and empower them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think, you know, you touched on something there. You want to see a day in Paris where everybody comes and hugs everyone. And there's one thing that Reverend Ike, who is this fantastic preacher and speaker from the 70s, he says that, you know, the only thing like like what's way more evil than a love of money is the lack of it. Because when people don't have the resources and they're in survival mode and they're struggling and they don't have enough money to feed themselves or their families properly and they don't have comfortable living situation, then that's what creates a lot of that animosity and tension. And that when people are actually abundant and, you know, the cup can overflow and spill out into the lives of other people. So that's really the kind of world that we want to create, where everyone's giving from their overflow rather than trying to, you know, quench each other's thirst from an empty cup. So thank you very much for sharing that, and let us continue. All right. Okay, so we want to create value, and then we times that by leverage. Leverage is the amount of lives that we can touch, and that's what will create freedom. So the more value you create, the more freedom you create. And so step one is to attract your tribe, and you do that by, there we go. Let's, oh, you're still coming up on my video for some reason. Let's see. Okay, I'll just keep it like this. So you attract your tribe using posts or ads. You get paid to be you, share your story of where you are right now. So you don't have to be the destination. Like people, funnily enough, right? If you see people like with their, you know, Ferraris and their sports cars and their giant mansions, it's inspiring, but it also feels unattainable. Most people just want an extra grand or two a month because that money will make things comfortable again. That money will make them able to breathe easily. So you don't have to present yourself as a destination. You simply have to show that you are one step ahead on the same journey. And there's a vast difference between presenting yourself as the final product, or you are a work in progress, but you know something that they don't. And after this webinar, after this call, you will know something that a lot of people don't. And you will be that 1 or 2 steps or 5 steps or 10 steps, depending on how you view it, ahead on the same journey. And that's what invites people to come along, where people go like, they're just a person just like me. They have their own struggles, their own challenges, but they're moving through them. You know, I see that 6 months has passed and wow, like things have shifted for them so much. I want to create that journey in my life. I want to join their journey. And that's really the attraction marketing that Alex was speaking of. Okay, so this is how the process works in a nutshell. So you have your posts or your ads. And the thing is, once you set this up properly, it's kind of like a machine. So in the same way that robots don't need sleep, they don't need to eat, they don't call in sick. When you set up your ads on Facebook properly and you have it all automated, then it works like a machine. It works in your sleep. And you can, rather than waiting for it to rain to drink, you can simply just turn on the tap whenever you want by running an ad. Okay, so you have your posts or your ads. Those come in here. And then from that, you will then lead people to well, first of all, you'll have a conversation and find out, you know, who these people are and what they want to get out of life, why they've been attracted to your post or your message. And then you just refer them to a webinar, one literally like this, maybe even this one. you know, and it will just explain everything for you. So you don't have to explain everything. You don't have to go in to try and say what this is. You know, you'll have it all done for you. And then after the webinar, you can just follow up with that person. They'll know exactly what's in it, what's required of them, how to get started. And then those who feel the pull, those who feel the call will say yes. And those who don't will say no. And, you know, their life stays the same. And the people who want to say yes, their life changes. But, you know, ultimately, this is not about trying to convince or persuade people. This is simply an invitation. We already know we're on the winning team. Right? This is now like one of the fastest growing movements around. And we know that we know that we are surfing that tidal wave. And now we are just asking who else wants to, you know, pick up a surfboard and join us. So that's really the difference between trying to sell something and instead simply sharing where you're at and inviting people who resonate with that message to come in. Okay. So just a few quick examples, like this is Hank, you know, 41-year-old ex-mining executive. So again, not somebody who is social media savvy at all, you know, but here they make a post and boom, 321 likes, 151 comments. That's the power of making a sponsored post or running an ad, is suddenly with no following, you can get your message seen by thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. That is leverage. That's the leverage that we're talking about. And then when you give value to all of those people, all of those eyeballs, essentially, then that's how you create freedom, not only for yourself, but all of the other people that you impact and touch. Okay, that's Maneka and Christopher. So since we have them on the call, actually, I think this would be a perfect time to just invite them to unmute themselves and maybe share a little bit of their journey. So this was literally that post, half a year's income in only 1 month. And so you can see that they're real people. We have them here today, and I'm really grateful that
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Yes, I mean, what to say? We're so thankful. This has just turned our lives around completely. We're now actually building our dream house. We were just out on the site just yesterday with the architect. So we're just, yeah, we are really living the life that we want to. And it's just, you know, leveled up our life. We started in February, and we feel like we just gave it our everything, and it's just been giving back to us and the family in a way we would never expect. Really, it was beyond our dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
What do you say?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and also a shift in, you know, what we do as a living. Like, yeah, just to go into this online space and learn a new, you know, sets of skills to make money on the online space. It's amazing. Yeah.
And the personal development as well, it was kind of unexpected, but when it's really real, you're just going out there with yourself, with your personal brand and with who you are, it happens. It's just the deepening in understanding yourself, understanding your values, understanding your vision in life. It just happens naturally in the process, which is another great bonus in this business as well. And to be also able to help others to clarify their vision, their values, their path, and how they can really impact the world in the best possible way. It just brings so much meaning to this. So more and more, it's, even though the money, it's flowing in big time, which is great, but it's like the impact and the leverage that people can make in their lives is even more important, I think, in the long run. You see how people's lives are being changed, and
beautifully.
They're being healthy and wealthy and getting to know themselves. It's so beautiful.
So thank you so much. And I know we haven't revealed yet what exactly the engine is, and I'm going to hold off on that yet. So without kind of like creating a spoiler alert, but if you just say how your health and how your family's health has shifted in the last few months.
Well, when I started to drink the water, I still had some problems from chronic Lyme disease that I'd been battling many years. And when I started to drink it, there was a 3-week period of intense detox symptoms, you could say. I remember calling you like, what should I do? I'm dizzy, I'm nauseous. And you know, I got some advice on, some detoxification and everything. But after that period, I think for the whole family, I mean, the clarity, the strength, the energy that came was just, we've never felt better in our lives. I mean,
Oh, it's so amazing. So amazing.
yeah. And with little kids and everything, that to be able to give that to them also. And like we have a almost chemical-free home, and we have water that is the best health, medicine for the kids. And yeah, that's so valuable, really.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for everything that you're doing, and just the massive community ambassadors that you are. You've all of a sudden just like suddenly Sweden is on the map. And it's wonderful to see what you guys have done with this opportunity. And for anybody listening in, like Monica and Christopher, like we've gone and hung out with them in Sweden. Like they have a full chaotic family home with, dog and kids, and, and if they're able to do this, then anyone can do this. And you're just such wonderful examples of the kind of people that you can call in with, the right level of attraction, meaning that you're pulling in people to you who vibe with your message and your mission. So thank you for being who you are, and thank you for tuning in on.
Thank you.
All right, let's continue on our little journey here. Okay, so next up is my beautiful partner in Shine. So for those who don't know our story, I'm just going to share really, really briefly, right? So we've had a lot of success in our life in different ways, but life comes in waves, and life goes up and life goes down. And in December, we found ourselves like flat broke. And I remember literally like sitting on a step of a cafe in Canggu in Bali, talking to one of my best friends, Taryn, and just saying like, I feel like I've hit a wall. Like with all of our skills, with all of the stuff that we're doing, like we shouldn't be in this situation. We should be we should be abundant. We should be thriving. And she was like, well, I can share with you something. I can share with you an opportunity that came into my life. And if you really see this for what it is, it can absolutely change your life rapidly. And I remember, because our back was against the wall and we just really needed something that we saw that was working. We were so much more open-minded, and we were ready to grow past our beliefs of abundance and what we're capable of having or what we deserve to have. And literally we went from, planning meals where literally it's like, okay, so which vegetables can I buy today, and what dinner can I make with that? And it was kind of this funny moment of even like being at a checkout and having, several people lining up in the checkout because I'm like feeding coins through the thing to pay for vegetables. And I remember kind of laughing internally going, okay, remember this moment, because what you'll see in a moment, what Chanel says is it's the trampoline effect. So on a trampoline, in order to bounce up, the trampoline first has to go down, or in the same way that an arrow has to be drawn back before it can shoot forward. This was our trampoline down moment. And I was like, okay, things would only be going this slow if they were about to shoot back up. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, within a month and a half, 2 months, we moved into a larger place, which I'm speaking to you from now. And our whole life shifted, and we went from being really uncomfortable to really, really comfortable. And it's just been awesome. And in a few months, we've, managed to make what I would say people make typically working a full year of working 9 to 5. So it absolutely works. And, I remember talking to Taryn and saying like, I'm a manifester. Why can't I manifest material abundance? And she said, well, you manifested your way to this opportunity. You manifested your way to this vehicle. So maybe you've been working on yourself as the driver for so long, but you just haven't had the right vehicle. And those words really resonated with me. And and here we are today. So She made one post. It went like almost viral in a way, right? Had like 516 comments, 260 likes, and we were able to build a business off pretty much one post. That's how incredible this can be when you really tune in and you get that voice dialed into who you are, and you speak to the people who connect with your message. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the beautiful Chanel.
Hello.
So yeah, so maybe just share a little bit of whatever aspect of this journey you want to, for what you think will be what people who are listening in need to hear.
Okay, so I can tell a little bit about myself. I'm the kind of person who never ever could do a 9-to-5. I tried a couple of times in my life, and I just never could have a boss telling me what to do, and very individual person here. And I tried different paths. I opened my own retreat center, run that for 7 years, and I also ran a beauty clinic for 4 years. And I thought that was the ticket to freedom, opening up my own business. And I worked my ass off. I worked so much, and I hit a wall. I got really drained, and I also ended up with a lot of debt. My goal was to inspire people and do the good in the world. And the result of the path that I took was that myself was not in that equation. I got burnt out in that process. And I see a lot of people in my network, they do the same. They're healers, they're yoga teachers, coaches and mentors. And they, a lot of the time in service jobs, a lot of the people, they are not very abundant. They are always in service, but they don't get a lot back. And when I found this vehicle, I was really like, whoa, finally, I can be in the equation too. This is a vehicle where I also can be abundant and have time. For me, time is very precious. To have, like, after we joined this vehicle, I finally got my life back again, because I was really still somehow a slave in another way. And I feel like now, after we joined this, I have so much time to do the stuff that I want to do. Like, for example, go in the forest in the middle of the day, sit and look at the sea. These simple things that I never took the time to do that kind of stuff before. And I also see in society, I feel there's a chronic fatigue is a big problem. And I do believe that is linked to a lot of people doing jobs that they're not passionate about. They don't love their job. And to go every day to something you don't love, of course, that is draining. And also when this is, in 2020, we're very soon in 2020. And if you're not part of the digital wave, you're really missing out. So to be part of this momentum in time and a perfect system that is so put together for collaboration. That's another thing in my network. A lot of people go and they do things alone, a little bit like a lone wolf syndrome. And here, this is something I didn't have for years. It's a network of colleagues and community and support, and the whole system here is you have to be be in the team spirit and supportive. If you're not, it's not going to really work. So we have, after we started with this, made so many friends all over the globe, which is another side of this that I didn't see in the start, was to build so many new friendships. And for me personally, I'm not able to do something if it doesn't align with me. And the more I look into the company's values and their structure and how their mission and vision, I 100% align with what they are about, and it fits also what I'm already doing. So it's very, very easy for me to join. Also because I had the mindset. Very frustrating. You have the mindset and you're broke. It's like it doesn't go together. So if you have the mindset and you can apply that to this vehicle, you will move very, very fast in the system. And if you don't have the mindset, you will be triggered, and we have all the tools so that you can create the mindset, because there is a very big difference between an employer mindset and an entrepreneurial mindset. And you will make the leap, you will make the switch, and that is a bit of a process. And I'm in love with the process. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. And just in the spirit of time, we can talk about this so much, but yeah, obviously we've been going on this journey together. And for anybody who's looking at this, who, you know, wants to do this with a friend or as a couple, it can be a really, really fun journey to go on together. And one where you really up-level each other and up-level each other's skill set and abundance and support each other. And yeah, the whole process is just kind of, it's like a life upgrade. There's so many aspects of this that don't present themselves at first, because you think, oh, this is just a business, or this is just personal development, or this is just community, but actually it's all of that and more. And yeah, that's why it really feels like a movement. So thank you very much for sharing, and let us continue on our journey. Okay, so we've heard a few examples now, and I want to just explain something. So you can be, if you're doing things in the online space or in the affiliate space, rather than like trying to be an affiliate for 20 different products and you know, becoming like opening up an Amazon shop and doing all of that. I mean, you can, and I'm not saying don't, but if you're doing things that are low ticket, meaning low value items, then you will only ever create low value commissions or low value sales. And if you simply align with something high ticket, which means like a premium world-class product, then you are creating like premium world-class commissions. So a high ticket offer equals high ticket commissions. And basically, since when somebody is deciding whether they want to invest their money or they want to buy something, it takes as long to talk to somebody about a $100 cream as it does something that is a lot more premium or a lot more expensive. And it's the same amount of time for either. So it's a much better use of your time to talk about things that create the most impact and the most income. And that's really what this is. This is a high ticket offer. So as I explained at the start, there is an investment, but the good news is you choose how much you want that investment to be, and you make that investment once. So that's like your entryway. That's like your startup capital, if you will. That launches your business. And now we're going to do like the big reveal of what this is all about, which is actually water. So that's when I heard what this actually was about, and the first webinar that I saw, like nobody was talking about what this was. And I know Monica, as much as I said, spoiler alert, she still said the water. So those who are smart and listening in would have picked that up. But basically, this is all to do with water. So if you think about it, you know, we are made 70% of water, give or take. And so, you know, there's people who are eating fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and oils and supplements and all of that stuff, but actually your body is mostly water. So if you are drinking water from the tap or even bottled water, you're probably having mildly acidic water. And if you have acidity in the body, it leads to acidosis, it leads to all kinds of degenerative health conditions. So one of the easiest things you can do to shift your health rapidly is to change the quality of your water. That's why I said worst case scenario is you will get a lot healthier. Best case scenario is you'll have a whole tribe, a whole family around the world. You become a better speaker, a better communicator, a better writer. You'll up-level your finances. All of that stuff can increase at once. So that is what this is all about. This is all about water and bringing a much, much higher quality water to the people. And because Enagic is a global business, Chanel, if you can just mute yourself, please. Because Enagic is a global business, it means you can reach anybody anywhere in the world, and you literally have a global business that you can operate from your smartphone. And that is powerful stuff. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what this is. So what we are talking about here is medical grade water machines. That is the high ticket vehicle. And the first time I heard this, I was like, really? That's what this is all about? This is about water machines? I don't understand how a water machine can change my life. It really can. And so it's easy to miss or dismiss just how powerful and potent an opportunity this is when you first hear about it. But everybody who's on the call is doing it this way. The 10,000 plus people are doing it this way. The people who brought this to Australia only 3 years ago, maybe even less than that, are already multimillionaires. The people who've been doing this for 12 months or more are already, you know, a lot of them are six-figure earners. We did over $300,000 in sales in our first few months. So like this really does work. So hear us out. Okay. Enagic is a company from Japan. They've been around for 45 years. So they're not like newbies on the block. They are a deep rooted global business that have really, really strong ethics and values. And if you look at their mission, it's to create true health. And they say true health is not just physical health, it's financial health as well. So the whole ethos, the mission statement of the company is so beautiful. And the more that we look into them, the more that we align with their values, the more that we see why we're doing this. This feels like a new paradigm wave of prosperity to reach all of the people in otherwise, let's say, more spiritual communities, and to reach people who are already on their entrepreneurship journey but haven't had that real success to speak of. This will be the kind of thing you could put in the background of your business where you can help other people with their finances. You can give other people you know, better quality health. You can turn everyone into an entrepreneur really who's ready for it. Okay, so these are a household name in Japan. So in Japan, Enagic machines are in 1 out of every 6 homes, and they were traditionally sold to hospitals, okay, because it's medical grade water. So these machines produce a number of different types of water, water that can sanitize, sterilize, water that can remove grease, it can remove stains. You can even strip away herbicides and pesticides off of fruit and vegetables. Like these machines produce really incredible water, but outside of Japan, nobody knew about them. And then what happened was some really tech savvy people in Canada who used to consult for companies like Facebook and Google and Instagram said, what if we use this, but as an affiliate marketing approach instead? Because Enagic's commissions are so high that you are helping everybody with their water and you are getting paid very, very generously in return. And just to give you an idea, since the introduction of the social media approach that we are now using, that has been responsible for 1/3 of the total sales that Enagic has made in 45 years. Okay, so I'm just going to say that again. 1/3 of the total sales that Enagic has made in 45 years have been done in the last 3. That's how powerful this is. Anybody who understands exponential curves will know that now we are here on the hockey stick. We are about to shoot upwards. And in a few years, a lot more people will know about this, but right now, everybody on this call, us, other people in our tribe, we all have this massive first movers advantage, okay? So the type of water that these machines produce is called hydrogen-rich electrolyzed reduced water. If you want to look something up, you can look up ERW, electrolyzed reduced water, or you can look up molecular hydrogen. You can also look up, so they trademarked a name which is Kangen, which means return to origin. Now, there's a lot of copycat companies out there that are trying to say that their water is Kangen water. This is the company that started it all. This is where that term originates from. And Kangen means return to origin, which means it restores your body to its ideal template, to its proper health. Okay, it's now FDA approved. They use noble metals like titanium and platinum, and it's just something you have to experience. We have people on our team who, you know, have arthritis, where the arthritis is, you know, easing after just a couple of weeks of drinking the water. People's hair is is growing in stronger. People's skin is clearing up of acne and psoriasis. We have people like, you know, Maneka, who had the effects of chronic Lyme disease, who now is experiencing a lot more energy. We have people like Simon, who had chronic fatigue and, you know, and now has the energy to kind of move and go about the day and do the stuff that he wants. So while this is not a treatment or a cure for anything, what we can say is that you drink this water and it will make you healthier, because that's what it does. So you change your water, you change your life. That's the whole message of Enagic. Okay, so a few stats. The company's 45 years old. They produce everything in-house. In fact, they're the only company I know of that produce everything themselves. So normally you have the manufacturers in one country, but they assemble it somewhere else, and everything is kind of outsourced. Here it's not. Here it's all in Japan. Everything is produced in-house. You can even send your machine to Japan once a year, and they'll do a deep clean. They'll pull apart the whole thing, repair it, clean it, put it back together, and send it to you back free of charge. You just have to pay for the shipping. Okay, they have zero debt. In 45 years, they have zero debt. They currently win multiple industry awards for their water. They're the only company that has received the gold standard for their water. They make over $38 million a month in revenue, and up to 54% of the cost of each machine goes directly back out to the people in probably the most innovative payment plan I've ever seen, one that works even better than it looks on paper. And it can actually, once you hit certain levels, then it can actually go up to even 72 or 74% of the cost of the machine can go to the people. So in case you still don't know what this is all about, basically the investment that you make is in a suite or in a single water machine for your own health, one that will impact your body, your family, your well-being, your wellness for a decade, for 20 years. These machines last a long time, and you are basically investing into your health. But when you do, you get a distributor ID, and then when you have that ID, that then gives you access to all of these communities where there's tons of personal development, and it also gives you the possibility to earn really high distributor commissions. And these distributor commissions can start in the hundreds and they go into the thousands. So literally, like we've had some days where, you know, we're doing something, you know, that we love, like maybe, I don't know, we're watching a movie or we're walking out in nature, and then we get a little ping on our phone and we see that, you know, more money has hit our account that day than we would typically make in a month, right? That kind of stuff, when you experience passive income, you will never, ever, ever, ever go back to trading your time for money. There's just no comparison at all. So this is, yeah, it's a really unique opportunity, and it's a really great time for this as well. So here, before I go any further, I'd like to actually invite Veni to maybe share a few words. She's only just started, so she's a baby in this whole process, and we all are infants in this process, really. We've only been doing it a few months, you know what I mean? So if this is us a few months in, imagine a few years in. It's powerful stuff. So I'd like to just invite Veni, if she's on the call, just to kind of share how she has felt her journey so far, the level of support, the level of community, the level of guidance, because you're not floundering on your own, you're swimming with everybody else, and everybody wants to support you because everybody's success is connected, and that's just a beautiful model to work from. So Veni, are you on the call?
Hi, Tarek. Yes, I am.
Fantastic.
It's like 1:30 a.m. here in Sydney, but yeah, I'm so happy to be on the call.
I love your dedication.
Thank you. Yes, see, this is the type of support and the community that I was really interested in from the very first webinar that my friend Alex had kind of shown me as well. And you know, you know, there's a lot of people from all walks of life. And you know, just get together and like being able to do their own thing and whatever passion they're in. My background is in corporate finance, and I was just at the point in my life where I was just exhausted from not only working from 9 to 5, but it was becoming more like a 10 hours, 12-hour days, and you know, it was really exhausting. So, and the past few years, 5 years, I've been seeing a lot of different opportunities for side hustle, you know, like businesses and I guess multi-level marketing or something like that, and where you kind of have to you know, sell something to your friends or family. But I didn't want to do that because that's just not me, and also it involves a lot more time and effort and that kind of things. And when I saw this opportunity where you can leverage social media, which I already use and a lot of people already use, with a high ticket item that is good for everyone's health as well. I thought, you know what, this is just amazing, and I wanted to be a part of it. It didn't take me too long to make a decision as well, and the experience has been amazing for me. Since the start of my journey, I'm still doing the training. I'm still doing the training on the platform itself, and the online training that's been provided. It's been really great. Lots of webinars, which is great, and it's addictive as well, because like you watch one and then like you want to come back and watch another one, because it's just been like just amazing, and it's really aligns with my values as well. And yeah, I mean, I feel like the support is always there. If I have a question, I can reach out to my mentor or my sponsor and that kind of thing as well. And ever since, also another update from me is that like 1 month after I joined, I've been able to manifest a job that's like a lot better for me in terms of hours. So I've been able to change my full-time job into one that's like where I can work less, so I can do more things that I like outside of work.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I felt like, you know, that's like a change, and you know, it's impacting everything, all aspects of my life pretty much.
That's so great to hear. And I remember sending you those first voice messages and you just saying afterwards, like, yep, okay, I'm in, like, let's do this. And it's just, I want the people who are listening in, like, you know, and just answer honestly, does this feel like a community?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Not just online, but also offline for me, because I ended up meeting my mentor's friends as well, and Alex, and he has a great mastermind group and that kind of thing in Sydney as well. So online and offline, and I feel like my friends list have grown so much as well. My confidence level have grown so much since I started. I've started doing public speaking, which I used to like stay away from as well. So yeah, it's been great.
Wow. That's so awesome, Benny. Thank you so much for sharing, and wonderful to have your energy as part of this collective. Thank you for tuning in and sharing some words, and let's continue with our little journey here.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, fantastic. So you're getting a feel now for, you know, the kind of people who are being drawn into this, and also what it's doing for people. The first way that you'll feel the difference is just after, you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of drinking this kind of water. It makes you, I'll show you actually some of the health benefits. It's anti-aging. It gives you better skin health, better immune support. It's detoxifying. In fact, the higher pH water, like the 9.5 alkalinity water, it's so, because of all the molecular hydrogen in it, it's so antioxidant. It's so antioxidizing that it's like having a bowl of blueberries. It's really, really powerful stuff. It'll hydrate you about 40% better than normal water, because the water is microclustered, which means an electrolysis process. So imagine like a lightning bolt, right? Breaking up the large molecules of water into much smaller clumps. It means they're much more easily absorbed by your cells. So when you drink this water, you're not going to the bathroom constantly and peeing it out, because your body's actually absorbing so much more of the water. And, you know, there's a shower unit where if you're bathing in that, you're now bathing in mineral ion water, which is so much healthier for your skin, for your hair. And yeah, this is one of the most simple shifts you can make in your life to create the largest impact in your health. Okay, improves gut health. It's deep cellular hydration. It helps you maintain a healthy weight, gives you an increased energy, improves performance. If you're into sports and things like that, it can help your recovery times, because your body is becoming more alkaline rather than acidic, so you are recovering faster. It's really, really good stuff for you. And that's what makes us feel very confident about standing behind this, is like something like a shake or a cream or a supplement. Not everybody needs that. Not everybody even wants that. And to constantly be reordering oils or creams and stuff, that's not a sustainable model. But here, you know, we're all human and we drink water, and everybody that you know drinks water every single day. So this is not simply like a luxury peripheral item. This is an essential need. Everybody needs healthy water. And the water that comes out of the tap for most people is anywhere from like 2.5 to 4.5, you know, on a pH scale. It's very acidic. Even bottled water is not so much better. And let's see here. Okay, so these are just some of the types of water that the machines produce. You know, you have like an 11.5, which you can remove stains, pesticides, herbicides, because herbicides and pesticides are petroleum based, so that when it rains, they don't just wash off the fruit and vegetables. So you bringing it home and just washing it under the tap is not going to remove it. But you put it in 11.5 water, you take a handful of tomatoes and you put them in 11.5 water, and the water turns green because it pulls off all of the petroleum based herbicides and pesticides that you otherwise would have eaten. Okay. You have 8 to 9.5 pH water, which is very, it's alkaline, and it helps your body not only hydrate, but it fortifies your health, because it, when your body is acidic, your body leaches calcium from your bones to counteract the acidity. So that's why people have things like osteoporosis and start to get like brittle bones. When you are having proper water, your bones basically keep their density and you get healthier. So there's a whole bunch of like health stuff that happens through this as well. And then you have things like pH 4 to 6.5 is a natural astringent. So you can spray it on your face and it's like a natural toner and cleanser. And then right down you have, because as I said, this was used in hospitals or is used in hospitals, you have a 2.5 acidic water, which kills germs and mold and bacteria. So you can use it to sanitize your floors, your countertops. I know Maneka and Christopher have replaced a lot of their detergents and soaps and things now. And that's money that they're saving every month, because they're no longer using that. And all of those harmful vapors that their kids would otherwise be breathing in are not an issue anymore, because they're cleaning their home with water. Okay, so for those who don't know, in case you've been living under a rock somewhere, the plastic epidemic is really quite a staggering thing. You currently have, right, 91% of all of the bottled water that is produced is not recycled. And the companies that produce bottled water don't produce water, they produce bottles. Please remember that. The companies that produce bottled water are not producing water, they're producing bottles, okay? And on average, people spend, let's say if you're having like a half-liter bottle of water, right, those little, you know, plastic bottles, maybe you get 2 or 3 of them a day, you know, that's like $2,000 a year that you're already spending on not very good water, because companies that make the water alkaline, they're not making it alkaline, they're making it alkalized. They're using chemicals like magnesium and calcium and things that they put in the water to make it alkaline on a pH scale, but that build up in your internal organs. It's not how nature does it. When nature wants something to be alkaline, a lightning strike hits the surface of a lake and ionizes the water. That's how it works in nature. That's what these machines do to the water. It's much more healthy even than reverse osmosis, because reverse osmosis, there's a whole thing that you can go into about that. So, I mean, to give you an idea, the CEO and founder of this company, Oshiro, he's over 80 years old and he still gets up on stage and plays his guitar and gives talks and stuff. You know what I mean? So that gives you an idea. Like, these are people who are living their health. They're not simply talking about health as a product. They are the product. And as David Wolf says, you know, if you don't have a water filter, you become the water filter. And you don't want your body to become the water filter. You want to have good quality water that you're putting into your body. Okay. So this was Bali not so long ago. Just shows you that the plastic is real. And if you want to do something to positively impact the environment, stop buying plastic bottles, invest in a really high quality water system for you and your family. And then you will no longer have to go out and buy water. And I promise you, once you do that, you won't go back. You become a water snob, because you realize how good water feels. And then when you go to something inferior, you're like, wow, is that the dead water that I've been drinking all of these years? Okay. So this is a business that really supports the planet, supports the people, and also supports profit. And the leverage is created through social media to create passive income. There's a world-class reputation, solid company. So that's like the Enagic is like the emperor, right? It's like the traditional, like, you know, samurai emperor. And then the social media strategy, the digital marketing platform is like the emperor's new robe, and you just fit the new robe over the emperor, and you have something that beautifully blends old world and new world technology, creates something that is deep and sustainable and solid, right? Because these water machines, unlike Bitcoin or unlike other cryptocurrencies, does not fluctuate in price. It's very consistent, it's very stable, and it has been, it's proven it in the market for many, many years. And then you add all of this social media strategy on top of it, and you have a truly innovative way of doing business that you can do from your smartphone or your laptop. Okay, so I'm just going to, if this is all sounding great for you, if you're excited about how this is and how it works, please drop that into the chat now. And I'm going to switch over to another short presentation to show you how the money is made and what it actually means to get involved, so that by the end of this session, which we will come to an end of very shortly, then you will know exactly what it takes from you to get started and how you can make this journey yourself. All right. Okay, opening the chat. Awesome, 100% agree. I am interested. Excellent webinar. Thank you so much. Okay, fantastic. Glad you guys, so are you guys getting value? Is this, I understand that it's asking you to take time out of your Saturday, but imagine if you could live every day as a Saturday, right? Just hold that thought for a moment. Imagine waking up on Monday and it's Saturday, waking up Tuesday and it's Saturday, wake up Wednesday and it's Saturday. Like, we wake up now every day and we're like, do I do yoga? Do I walk in the forest? Do I watch a show on Netflix? Do I do some training? Do I write? Do I read? Like, to have each day be your own is unlike anything else, right? To be able to have there is no weekend, right? It's just constant, strong beginnings, right? To be able to have your life on your terms is just, it's something that I really, really urge you to experience. Okay, so now we understand how powerful water is. We understand that water makes us who we are, and that the healthier your water, it's kind of like you can pay all of this money for supplements and medication and stuff down the line, or you could just improve your water now and fortify your health for decades to come. And if Oshiro, the Japanese founder, who's over 80 and still up on stage, how many 80-year-olds do you know get up on stage and do public talks and entertain crowds of people? That is an example of what this health creates. So you can have that too. And I haven't, thankfully, like, I haven't been sick in a very long time, and I feel it's because of what I put into my body or what I no longer put into my body. So you shifting your water is even more important than starting to eat more fruit and vegetables, because the fruit and vegetables are good for you because they contain water, right? They have like a 70% water ratio in the fruit and vegetables. But if you just start drinking much higher quality water, then you shift yourself even beyond what food can do. All right, let's talk about the money and how this all actually works. So this is high ticket, okay? So these are premium, world-class, medical grade water machines. They are not your, cheap kitchen appliances. So please know that going in. This is an investment into your health, one that you make once and one that will and can pay you for the rest of your life. Each commission can be anywhere from like 100 euros all the way to 3,000 euro plus. And I'll explain exactly how that works. It's medical grade water, so it's much more healthy than what you are currently drinking. I'm almost positive of that. And it's a 45-year-old company with global offices. And now, do you know that since we've begun, they've now opened up 2 new offices. So now it's 40 locations. And just to give you an idea of how fast this is growing, since Chanel and I began, the Europe office had to hire more staff. Let that sink in. All right. So water is life. So there's a suite of different water machines. And then there's a product called Ukon, which is a world-class turmeric supplement in liquid form grown with this medical grade water. It's much more potent than any other turmeric you can get out there. Normally turmeric is in powder form. And as soon as you open that canister and remove that seal, it oxidizes. So your turmeric loses a lot of its potency. Here it's maintained in liquid form. It's a patented system as well. And it's just, yeah, like we have people who are saying like their joints are getting better from having this turmeric supplement and so on. Okay. So here's how this works. Every time a machine is bought or sold, 8 blocks of commission are given out. Think of it like a cake with 8 slices. And the cool thing is multiple people get to eat from the same cake. And this is what makes this so unique, is this is literally a one-of-a-kind payment system. There is no company in the world that has anything like this. It took them 2.5 years to develop, and it's patented. So legally, it's the only company that has this model. And I'm going to explain how powerful this model is, because once you get it, you're like, whoa, okay, now I see what all the fuss is about. Okay, so let's say we have begun, and this is how it works. Let me just move this to the bottom of the screen. Okay, so when you begin, right, there are lanes. There's lane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And when you start, you're in lane 1, or if you start with a suite of products, then you start in lane 2, effectively. If you're in lane 1, you're on single commissions. Lane 2, double. Lane 3, triple. Lane 4, quadruple. Lane 5, quintuple, and so on, okay? So when you're in lane 5, you're doing the same exact work. You're writing the same posts, making the same ads, but you're making 5 times as much for each sale, whether you do it or whether it's done indirectly through somebody you've introduced. And that's really where the leverage comes in, where this becomes a team effort, a group effort. So let's say we're in Europe right now. So we're in Europe right now. So I'm just going to talk in euros. So let's say you have a K8, and a K8 is like the Rolls Royce of water machines. It's about 4,000 euro, right? As I said, these are premium products. And when you have a K8 that's bought or sold, then anybody who's in lane 1 there, they'll get like 250 euro. If you're in lane 2, 500. If you're in lane 3, 750. Lane 4, 1,000. Lane 5, 1,250. Okay, so literally somebody buying or selling that machine, it pays out 8 blocks of commission at once. And depending on what lane you are in, you get paid that number of blocks. So I'll explain that to you. I know it's a lot to take in first, but I'll show you on a chart in a moment. But basically that means, like, for example, Chanel and I, we got to lane 4 within about 2.5, 3 weeks. Okay, just to give you an idea. It doesn't mean that everybody will do that, but it shows it's possible. We got to lane 5 in 5.5 weeks. We got to lane 6 in 5 months. Okay, so that means that once we're lane 6 for life. Like it's not like, oh, next month, if we don't make any sales, we go back to lane 3. No. That's locked in. It's permanent. That's the beautiful thing here, is you build your castle once and you can visit it whenever you want. It's done. So now when you are lane 6, if you make a sale in your lane 6 lane, so somebody who has joined in your lane 6, then you get 6 pieces of that 8 piece cake. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how this works. So let's say this is you here at the top, and you here, actually, this is probably an easier example. Okay, so this is you. So the minimum way that I recommend anybody begin is a machine and an Ukon. All right, now I know, like, when I started my physical business in Bali and I built this parkour gym, it cost $100,000. $100,000. Here it's like less than a tenth of that, and we've made more money in the last few months of doing this than I did from parkour gym in 3 years. Okay, so here you have your machine at the top, and then you sell yourself an Ukon. Let me see if I heard that. Okay, so here's you, right? You sell yourself an Ukon. Now you only have 1 block left to fill in your lane 1. So that means the first person you introduce goes into your lane 1. Now you filled up lane 1. The next person you introduce opens up your lane 2. Okay. Or you can start with 2 items, like a shower unit, a drinking water unit, and the Ukon. And now just by yourself, you filled up lane 1 already. And that means the first person you introduce goes into your lane 2, where you are making double commission straight away. So let's say you did that. Let's say you started with an Anespa, which is for showering in. You sold yourself an Ukon and you sold yourself a K8. All right. So that setup is about 7,500 euro. Okay. Now, for anybody who listens to that and thinks it's a lot of money, as Alex said earlier, you know, he's done personal development courses. I mean, I know the Date with Destiny, which is a week with Tony Robbins is over $5,000. People have done social media training, you know, for $4,000 to $6,000. So in the grand scheme of things, in terms of setting up a business, honestly, it's tiny. It's tiny. We made our investment back in a matter of weeks. You can make your investment back in a matter of months. Either way, I don't know of a business you can start where you are investing in your own health. Like typically with a business, you are investing in, you know, a building or like a physical structure. All right, so here you sell yourself the Ukon, you sell yourself the K8. Now you filled up your lane 1. Now the really cool thing from Enagic is it doesn't matter. You can go for the cheapest machine, which is about 1,680 euro, right? Or you can go for the Rolls Royce of water machines and massively impact your health with a K8 or Kate, as we like to call her. Either way, you're going to get your distributor ID, and that distributor ID is going to give you the capacity to earn the same commission. So it's not like, oh, I bought a cheaper machine, so I make less commission. No, you can start with whatever makes sense for you, for your health. That's the really powerful thing here. That's why I said at the start, your investment is as much or as little as you want, depending on what quality of water you want to be drinking. So let's say you start with an Anespa, you sell yourself the Ukon and the K8, and the first person you introduce, let's say that person is Sarah, then she also starts with a trifecta. Well, you'll make 804 euro because you are getting lane 2 commission. So it's 32 times 2, 250 times 2, plus the Anespa, which I think is 120 times 2. So you add all that up, you now have 804 euro. Now let's say Sarah introduces her friends Jenny and Rachel. You will still make 804 euro for Jenny and Rachel, even if you didn't introduce them yourself. That's where this is powerful, because whether you introduce someone directly or indirectly, you're getting paid the same, so long as there's enough slices of cake to come up to you. The money flows from the bottom to the top, okay? So here you have Jenny and Rachel, and then let's say, for example, here, Rachel makes a sale and she's in lane 1, so she gets 1 slice of the cake. That leaves 7 slices left. It then comes up to Jenny. Let's say Jenny is lane 2. So Jenny will take 2 slices of that cake. Well, guess what? There's still 5 slices left. Then the 5 slices come up to Sarah. Let's say Sarah is also lane 2. So she'll take 2 slices of that. That will leave 3 slices. And those last 3 slices will come up to you. That's how powerful this is. Okay? Provided that Sarah is in your lane 3. Here, Sarah is in your lane 2, so you will get 2 slices, and then that last slice will come up to whoever introduced you. So that's how powerful this is. So one machine gets sold, loads of people are eating cake. All right, now once you get to lane 3, it's the same thing, but now you're making 3 times as much. So if somebody was to buy a trifecta, that's now 1,206 euro. Right? For one person joining, whether direct or indirect. Lane 4, 1,608 euro. Lane 5, 2,010 euro. Lane 6, 2,412 euro. So imagine you're in lane 5, let's say, right? And somebody in your lane 5 makes a sale. You've just made 2,010 euro passively. Now imagine you did 2 of those a month. That's a 4,000 euro month. That is a full-time salary replaced, and a healthy full-time salary replaced. Is that making sense to you? Do you see the power of this model? Give me a yes or something if this is making sense to you and you see why this is as big a deal as it is. Okay, now the reality is not everybody is going to build massive teams. Some people are going to introduce 1 person. Some people will introduce 5. Some people will have a steady supply of people coming. But rather than you going out and talking to your friends and family about this, you simply make ads. And you can make that ad wherever you want. Honolulu, Tibet, New York City, wherever. You can target everybody in the whole world and just speak your truth and your message, and those who vibrate with your message will contact you. That's the beautiful thing. People come to you. That's the power of attraction marketing. It's literally the law of attraction in action. And just to give you an idea, like Chanel and I, like our account is just one of these people in the people who introduced us. So imagine that that's Chanel and I, and we now have this team of over 100 people. Imagine one person that you've introducing 100 people. Like that's powerful, especially when you're talking, if you know that person is in your lane 4 and everybody they're introducing, you're getting 4 slices of that pie, then that's really powerful. Now, here's the really cool thing is like, let's say you know, Sarah introduces Jenny, introduces Rachel, introduces John, introduces David. And by the time it gets to you, there's no more slices of pie left. Well, so be it, because the money flows from the bottom to the top. And only when there's money left over do the people at the top get paid. So that's why this is kind of the reverse of what's happening in society, right? This is not like the people at the bottom doing all the work and the people at the top getting paid. It's the people who are showing up consistently are the ones who are getting paid and creating more possibility and money for everybody else. And when you hit lane 6, you achieve the first level of leadership within this structure. And that means that even if there's no slices of cake coming up to you, you still get paid. How crazy is that? So all the cake's eaten up, right? The 54% is gone. There's an extra 20% reserved for people who are in lane 6 or above. And that means that any sale happening anywhere, you're still getting paid for it. So if you don't have any slices coming up to you, you're still getting paid. It's massive. It's huge. It's one of the most lucrative, generous payment systems I've ever seen. Okay. And again, once you hit each new lane, there's no going back. So the beautiful thing is, like, we've had this situation where you have somebody who's in lane 1, they introduce one person. That one person goes on to introduce like 10 people. So they have all of these points. And then guess what? Their next sale, boom, they can just open up lane 5 immediately, or open up lane 4 immediately, and just skip lane 2 and 3. Like, as long as you have the qualifying points, you can open up the higher lanes. Now, I know this might seem a little, it might be a lot to take in the first time round, but just bear with me a moment. So let's go back a little. Okay, so you see this chart. These are all of the places that you need to fill in order to get to 6, right? To lane 6. Now, it seems like a lot, but bear in mind, one person will typically start with a machine and an Ukon, or 2 machines and an Ukon. So that means each person is filling up 3 blocks. So you could have, you know, 2 or 3 people, and boom, you filled up your lane 2. And now the next person you introduce, you can open up your lane 3. People don't change lanes. So let's say Sarah is in lane 2. That means that everybody that she introduces, you will get 2 slices of that cake for ongoing, like forever. As long as there's slices that make their way up to you, you will get 2 slices. Once you open up lane 3, the people you put in lane 3 will give you 3 slices. The people you put in lane 4 will give you 4 slices, and so on. That's why there's power in filling up lane 1 with your own items, because when you open up lane 2, you're immediately on double commissions. So that means you get double, triple, quadruple. You'll never be on single commissions. And that's a really powerful thing. So people don't change lanes. You have to have a direct sale to open up a new lane. But when other people who you've introduced start building their own tribes and their own communities, then all of those points count towards you. So let's say you have 30 points, for example. You've only introduced a couple of people, but you have 30 points. Then, you know, in order to open up lane 4, you only need 21 points. Well, then you can now, on your next direct sale, open up lane 4. And that's how you can start to get into the higher lanes very quickly. So our goal is for everybody to be able to get to lane 4 within a month. It's doable. We've done it. We have other people who've done it also on our team. And it really depends. You can treat this as a marathon or a sprint, or you can treat it as a marathon that you're sprinting at the start of, which is what we've done. Okay, so that's kind of how the money works. Now, the Ukon, what's the power of the Ukon? So typically, in order to fill up one of these blocks, you need a machine. And as I said before, you know, the cheapest machine is 1,680 euro, and the top end is more like 4,000 euro. So that means somebody has to buy one of those machines in order to fill up one of those blocks. But Ukon is only hundreds of dollars or hundreds of euro. And simply by you having the Ukon, everybody else who gets Ukon, you will pick up another point for. If you don't have the Ukon, you don't get that point. So you miss out on the commission and you miss out on the point. And the Ukon is the only thing that I would consider like a running overhead. So you reorder that every 4 months. That keeps your business active. So even if you have no direct sales, because you're reordering your Ukon every 4 months, you stay in the top commission band. So if you don't have any direct sales for 6 months, that's when it can impact the amount of commission you make. But if you have an Ukon reordering every 4 months, then that's like your business overhead. And then that means that you are in the maximum commission because you have an active business. And I mean, you know, we have a team of over 100 people. So it's really not, it's not a really difficult thing to do. Like if you're just looking for an extra 1,000 or 2,000 a month, it can be achieved relatively easily through this process, because you get given all of the guidance in the social media training platform, which I'm going to get to next. Okay. And then once you hit certain levels, then you unlock lifetime bonuses, and lifetime bonuses start at $5,000 and go up to $80,000 a month for the rest of your life. And yeah. So the only other aspect of this that we haven't talked about is all of your digital marketing training. And that's a $99 platform, okay, that you can cancel anytime. That will teach you all of the ad stuff. It will teach you the funnels, will teach you the copywriting skills. And once you have your distributor ID, you then get access to thousands of dollars worth of personal development that have been made by the community, because we have such a community of high vibe people who all have their own courses and workshops and stuff, and they've just donated all of that for free. So you really get given a recipe that you can follow easily. So even if you're not a writer, you're not a speaker, you don't have a social media following, you don't know what a business page is or how to run an ad, you don't have your own website, all of that stuff will be taught to you through this process, and everybody will be so willing to help you, because your success is linked to their success. And that's what creates this camaraderie and community, because you're rewarded for good leadership. So I would like to just bring on David, who just joined our community literally in the last couple of weeks. And he feels to me like, you know, the late Robin Williams, like when he played the genie in Aladdin. I feel like David is like the genie, and we're here to grant his wishes this time. So David, over to you, bro. Unmute yourself and feel free to just share a few words.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Awesome, man. I am so excited. This webinar has been the best thing I've ever seen. I'm just way up here. Yeah, I'm so excited because, you know, back in 1941, Dr. Otto, he won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he discovered that no disease can live in an alkaline environment. You know, and I've sold a lot of things, Tariq, and I've been very successful, and I've learned from the best of the best of the best, as you know. But man, my family has been so affected by cancer. I've lost aunts, I've lost uncles, I've lost my grandmother, I've lost so many people, and this is something I know that would have made a huge difference in their lives, a huge difference. And what is so exciting about this is the fact that, you know, like you mentioned, I mean, you know, beauty water. I mean, you can brush your teeth with this stuff. You can do so many things with this water, and it's right over there. All I got to do is walk over to my tap, turn it on, and there it is, man. It is so amazing. I mean, if I could invent something that could change the world, this would be it, but it's already invented. All I got to do is tell people about it. You know, it's so simple, you know. And what is so exciting is being part of this community, being part of this team, you know, because that's one thing that I'm all about is the team, the love of the team of love. And what I'm excited about is, you know, my mom sent me something the other day, and it almost brought tears to my eyes, and it was on Facebook. And it was about these three guys showing up at somebody's house, and one guy was success, one guy was wealth, one guy was success, and one guy was love. And they said you can only invite one in. And so the husband wanted to invite in wealth, and the wife wanted to invite in success. And the daughter said, no, let's invite love. And so they went out there and invited love, and the other two got up and followed. They said, if you'd have picked one of us, only one would have went in, but you picked love. And where love goes, success and wealth follow. And that's why I'm so excited to be part of this team, Tariq. And, you know, they say change your water, change your life. You know what? It's change your water, save your life. And that's what we're doing, man. And that's why I'm excited, because we are saving lives. We're saving lives. And I know this could have saved people in my family, and it's going to save people in other families. And it's like, you know, seeing this huge dam and there's a crack in it. And if you saw that and you knew everybody around you was going to drown, how many people would you go out there and tell about it? You'd be telling everybody about it, you know, and I'm ready to tell everybody about it. So I'm so pumped. I'm excited to be on the team, and I can't wait to see where this thing goes, man. So back to you.
Thank you so much, David. Man, I love your energy. We're definitely going to be inviting you to talk and share more of your story and your wisdom. And you know, David had such an amazing, colorful journey, which he can regale you with another time. But so basically, like, if you've listened up to this point, you know, thank you so much for taking the time out of your Saturday. And I recognize that it is time from your precious life, but the alternative is you working another 40 years or 30 years of your precious life doing something that you don't enjoy. You know, best case scenario, maybe you kind of enjoy, or even if you love, is it really your greatest expression of who you are? Is it what you were put on this planet to do? Is this why you won that sperm race? You know, you beat 250 million to the swimming competition to actually be born into this life. You know, are you making the most of it? And I just see this as just a powerful conduit, a powerful vehicle for doing that. You know, right now, everything from the plastic epidemic to, you know, as David, you know, mentioned, unfortunately, all of the cancers and things that are coming about because people are just not living healthily. And we can do something about that. And we can do something about that in a way that also generates income. It's just, it's such a massive thing to be a part of. So you have the training platform, which you have, and that's $99 a month. You can keep that going for as long or as little as you like. But as David, sorry, if you could just mute yourself, bro. Thanks. So with that also, as you start to go on this journey and start to build your own community, what will happen is, as people start to go and invest in the training platform for themselves, you'll also be making a commission from that training platform. So for us, we didn't do it to make commissions on the training platform. That was just a, you know, a nice bonus. But all of a sudden, you're paying $99 for a training platform. You have a team of 10 people, 15 people, 20 people. You're not, that training platform is not only paying for itself, it's become a whole new income stream into your life. You know, and that can help with your rent, with your food, with whatever. I want to just say quickly a few of the differences between this, and I suppose the only other comparable thing is when people talk about network marketing. With network marketing, you go and you hassle friends and family and you try and get them involved with things that they're not really passionate about, like oils or creams or shakes or supplements. This is water. This is essential. Everybody needs water. And you're not out there hassling friends and family. In fact, your friends and family might never even find out that you're doing this. You can simply make ads and you can target those ads wherever you want, and you can approach people wherever you want, and those people will come to you. So that's really powerful. Also here, there's no like continuous products. Like you invest in your water machines once and that's it, you're done. And it's the same with everybody else. You know, you invest once and you're done. There's no like constant reordering of products every month. That's one big thing. There's no quota. So it's not like, oh, I didn't make a sale this month and I'm going to drop back from lane 6 to lane 3. Like, no, it's permanent. It's done. It's so powerful. It's kind of like a marathon where whenever you want, you can just stop running, go to the side, eat a sandwich, you know what I mean? Chill out, lay on the grass, stare at the sky, read a book, and then put your running shoes on and continue running again. And you start from where you left off. You don't have to start over from the starting line. That is so massive. The fact that there's like in the network marketing world, business volume, there's no minimum business volume. There's no yearly joining fee. There's no recurring membership fee. There's none of that. It pays from the bottom up. It pays you the same whether you introduce somebody directly or indirectly. There's just so many things that they've done here that make it so simple. Enagic pay daily. If you're in Europe, they pay directly into your bank account. Isn't that incredible? They can pay you anywhere in the world. You can contact them and say, hey, can you now actually have set up a company in this country? Can you now please direct my Enagic funds into this company? You can go from being a personal account to being a company account. You can even will it to your kids and it can become legacy income that you can pass down in your family and create generational wealth. Like, I just don't know of anything that marries so many different components together. So if you've been tuning in so far, what you have is 3 components. You have a water machine, you have a training platform, called AI, and then you have the community. And when you combine those 3 things, you have basically a recipe for freedom. So if you've tuned in to this point, thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to open back up into the grid view and we can kind of see who are all of the people that we have on the call now with us today. And all you need to do is just get back to the person who invited you to this webinar or the person who sent you the link to this, and they will know exactly what you need to do for your next steps. If you feel like, wow, this sounds amazing, but I don't know if I have the money to get a water machine right now, no problem. Start the training, start the social media aspect, start learning how to turn yourself into a personal brand. Like, which would you rather be, Microsoft or Oprah? Now, Microsoft, you know, they make microchips, but if they suddenly decided to make potato chips, maybe nobody would go out and buy Microsoft potato chips, right? Because we're used to them making microchips. Whereas Oprah, she can put her name to anything and that thing will be a success. Why? Because she's cultivated such a strong personal brand. And right now we have about a 3-year window to turn ourselves into personal brands. You're already a personal brand, whether you realize it or not. Your reputation, your following, the way that people tune in and know who you are online, that is your personal brand. Whether it's a strong one or a weak one, it is a personal brand. And be able to turn that into a powerful personal brand means it's something you can leverage for any business, for anything that you're doing. And that's really where the power in this comes. So if you're a yoga teacher, a healer, a chef, a dancer, a DJ, it doesn't matter. Your personal brand will be your personal success. And this will show you that formula. So even if you don't have the money to actually get a water machine right now, start the training. It's only $99. That you go through a proprietary process, which is worth thousands in itself, called a discovery process, where you'll get so clear on your goals, what your ideal day looks like, how much money you need each month to be comfortable. That whole process is worth so much. It's thousands of dollars worth of value. The people who teach the copywriting, by the way, are the people who do like the copywriting for Mindvalley. They're like world-class copywriters that are going to be teaching you. The people who teach you the Facebook ad stuff have spent over $1 billion, that's billion with a B, into Facebook ads. So like you're getting the best quality training from the top people, all consolidated under one platform. And you combine that with the water machine. And as I said, you have the emperor and the new robe. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Let's go and into, there we go. So if you have any last minute questions, I'll probably edit this part out, but thank you so much for tuning in. I see there's a bunch of us on the call here today. So if you have any questions, if you're just tuning in, if I haven't answered anything for you, then now is your time to speak. So just feel free to unmute yourself and share. If you enjoyed the webinar, if you felt it was good value for your time, if you feel like you learned something new, if you just love the vibe that you're picking up, because for a lot of people, they don't know quite what it is. They just know that this feels different, and it does. It was one of the things that attracted us to it. We were just like, wow, this just feels different. They're talking a different language. They're speaking with a different vernacular, a different, there's just a different feel about all of this. So, okay, really love this webinar. Thank you. Thank you everyone who took time and joined. Yes, absolutely. So anybody have any questions or any comments? Maybe it's just like, wow, that was awesome. I'm really happy I tuned in. Please, over to you.
Tarek.
Yo.
Amazing. Amazing. It was the best ever. I mean, the energy, the love, the excitement, the information, unbelievable. I can't wait to share it with everybody, man. Definitely.
Thank you, David. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Okay. Message from Venny. True self-care is not just about getaways, spa treatments, or party weekends. It's also about designing a life and career you don't need to regularly escape from. Boom. Absolutely. Yes. We call it a holidaily. So we don't wait for a holiday. We have a holidaily, right? So every day we wake up and every day is our own. If I decided that I just wanted to watch Netflix all day today, I could. Like that's incredible for me, you know? And the fact that I can just answer some messages, I can direct some people to a webinar, I can just check on how an ad is doing. Like that's work. It's really powerful stuff. Okay, I don't get it. How can money only be shared by influencers? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You don't have to be an influencer. You can just be a regular person. This basically just gives you the possibility to earn money as if you already had a huge following, because if you put like $20 into an ad, it can be seen by a few thousand people. If you put $200 into an ad, it can be seen by several thousand people, 10,000 people. That's power, right? To be able to instantly have a platform to project your voice and have an audience that's listening because you're showing up on their feed. That is what I mean by an influencer. You can become an influencer overnight because you now can put money towards an ad that then goes out and creates the influence.